What is a competency-based interview? In this video, I'm going to explain simply and clearly what happens in a competency-based interview and how you can pass one. I'm Amri Celeste, an interview coach and HR recruitment specialist with over 10 years hiring experience. And on this channel, I help you get hired and secure the job that you want. So if you're job hunting, do like and subscribe. So first, what is a competency-based interview? In a competency-based interview, your interviewer is assessing your competencies in relation to the key skills in the role. So this means your ability to carry out essential key tasks successfully or efficiently. The skills they're assessing will always be listed on the job description under skills and experience. Sometimes this section is split into essential and desirable criteria, so you want to keep your main area of focus on essential skills because of course they are the skills that you must have. Desirable skills are skills that are helpful but not absolutely required. Examples of competencies that interviewers test for are things like your problem-solving skills, your ability to build relationships, whether with management, colleagues, clients or customers, or things like communication skills if that's relevant to the role. There are a ton of different ways they can assess you, such as psychometric testing, presentations, role-playing, but the most common in an interview is an effective Q&A, so asking you relevant questions and assessing your answers. Competency-based interview questions. A few examples of competency-based questions are, give me an example of a time when you solved a problem. Can you give me an example of a difficult situation and how you handled it? How would you describe your work ethic? And what is the key to building a great relationship? So these questions are clearly assessing specific aspects of your character in relation to what's required. If you want some example answers to those questions, you can check out this video where I share some solid example answers to those specific questions. What you should not do. Keep in mind that the interviewer is thinking about how you meet the specific needs of the role, so keep your answers hyper relevant to the question. Try to avoid going off on a tangent where you just keep talking. It's the most common thing candidates do in an interview, and some interviewers are very impatient, so you don't want to create irritation or a negative impression because you just keep talking. As you're talking, keep in mind the point of your answer so that you don't get wrapped up in interview nerves and long explanations. How to pass. The way to pass a competency-based interview has actually very little to do with what you do in the interview. So some of the mistakes that I mentioned earlier, plus many more that I cover in this video, are related to lack of interview prep or not preparing in the right way. So if you want to pass a competency-based interview, or one of the ways that you can pass, is by focusing your pre-interview preparation in two key areas. One, the job description. You really need to understand the job description, not a vague browse, but really understand the required skills so that you can link it back to what they're looking for in the role when you're answering a question. So this will constantly hit the points that the interviewers want to hear throughout the interview. Second is practicing your answers. This sounds obvious, but I don't mean reading up on a couple of questions or watching a few of my videos and hoping for the best. You must say your answers out loud. Trust me, as soon as you do this, you will hear how they sound and you will almost definitely change and refine them. You can do this on your own somewhere quiet, or if you have someone to ask you the questions, even better, because it will feel like you're in an interview situation, so it's a more authentic practice. So what questions should you practice answering when you don't know what they're going to ask? So once you really understand what's required in the job, as this is what most of their questions will be based around, cover your bases by practicing answers to the most common competency-based interview questions. I have covered top 20 interview questions and answers in this guide. It does include example answers, and it includes questions like, how do you handle pressure at work? What's your greatest weakness? Why should we hire you? It is totally free and you can download it below, and I created it to help you form your own answers. Now, once you're comfortable with common competency-based interview questions, it's easier to understand how to structure your answer to almost any interview question. And a bonus tip to boost your answer to any competency-based interview questions is to use the STAR method. And this is a double whammy because this is also the method that interviewers will check your answer against to make sure that it's comprehensive and includes all the areas of the STAR method, sometimes called the STAR technique. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. And if you were using this method to answer a competency-based question, you would demonstrate your competency for a specific skill. So let's say that you wanted to demonstrate your problem-solving skills. You would give an example of a time when you solved a problem, and you would describe the situation, then the task, so what the task was as a result of that situation, then the problem that needed to be solved, the actions you took in that situation, and the outcome or the result. So what happened and who was affected. And if you're feeling really confident, you can add learning. So what you learned as a result of that situation to really make your answer pop. If you want STAR Technique example answers, I highly recommend this video on STAR Technique interview questions and answers. I'll link that in the description below. It includes some really strong example answers for you. If you're finding this helpful, leave a comment below and let me know what else you need help with. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, do like and subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll know when a new video is ready for you.